The Prince and the Enchanted Deer. Long ago, in the land of Iran, there lived a kind and just king, named King Jamal. He was loved by all his people because he always helped the poor and ruled with fairness. King Jamal had only one son, Prince Suleiman, who was brave, intelligent, and fond of hunting, although the king often advised him, "My son, never hunt animals for pleasure. Every living creature has a right to live." The prince's love for hunting never faded. One bright morning, Prince Suleiman rode into the forest with his guards and servants. The forest was full of colorful flowers, singing birds, and tall green trees. Everyone spread out in different directions in search of wild animals. Suddenly, the prince saw a magnificent golden deer. Its shining coat sparkled in the sunlight, and its antlers looked as if they were made of gold. Without hesitation, the prince drew an arrow from his bow, took careful aim, and released it. The arrow struck the deer's leg. Injured, the deer leapt away and ran deep into the dense forest. "I won't let it escape," the prince shouted as he chased after it. The deer ran faster and faster until it disappeared into the thickest part of the forest. The prince followed alone, leaving his guards far behind. After hours of searching, the prince realized the deer had completely vanished. There were no footprints, no drops of blood, and no sign that it had ever been there. Exhausted and thirsty, he sat beneath a huge, ancient tree. As he rested, he suddenly heard footsteps approaching. He quickly stood up and drew his sword. An old man with a long white beard appeared from behind the tree. The old man smiled and said, "Prince, the deer you chased was no ordinary animal. It is an enchanted deer that appears only to people whose hearts still have goodness." The prince was amazed. "Where is the deer?" he asked. "If you truly wish to know," the old man replied, "come with me. But remember, every step ahead is a test." The prince bravely followed him until they reached an ancient cave. At its entrance stood a giant golden lion. As the prince stepped forward, the lion suddenly came to life and roared loudly. "Do not fear," the old man said. "If your heart is free from greed, the lion will not harm you." The prince walked forward with courage. The lion quietly moved aside, and the cave entrance opened. Inside were mountains of gold coins, sparkling diamonds, and priceless treasures. But in the center of the cave stood a golden cage. Inside the cage was the same wounded deer. Feeling pity for the helpless animal, the prince opened the cage without thinking about the treasure. The moment the deer stepped out, it transformed into a handsome young man. He bowed respectfully and said, "I am the guardian of this forest. A wicked sorcerer cursed me and imprisoned me in the form of a deer. Because you chose kindness over greed, you have broken the curse." Suddenly, the cave shook violently. A terrifying sorcerer appeared in a cloud of black smoke. "Who dares free my prisoner?" he roared. The sorcerer hurled balls of fire at the prince, but Prince Suleiman fought fearlessly. The old man handed the prince a magical sword. "Only this sword can defeat him," he said. With all his strength, the prince struck the sorcerer. A blinding flash filled the cave, and the evil magician disappeared forever. The moment the curse was broken, the piles of treasure vanished. In their place appeared beautiful gardens, flowing streams, and blooming flowers. The guardian smiled and said, "Today, you have learned that true bravery is not in hunting or fighting. It is found in mercy, kindness, and protecting others." As a reward, he gave the prince a magical golden necklace. "Whenever you use your power to help your people," he said, "this necklace will remind you that goodness is the greatest strength. Prince Sulayman returned safely to the palace, where King Jamal and the people welcomed him with great joy. The prince told his father everything that had happened and promised never to hunt innocent animals for pleasure again. King Jamal embraced his son proudly. "My son," he said, "today you have become not only a brave prince but also a wise and compassionate man." Years later, when Prince Sulayman became king, he ruled with justice, mercy, and wisdom, just like his father. His kingdom flourished in peace and happiness for many generations. Moral: true courage is shown through kindness, compassion, and justice.